So the Philippe Saint-Andre Academies are back again this year, and there's 4 venues in Ireland, up from 2 last year. So you've got Rosscray, Kilkenny, Villiers in Limerick, and Wilson's Hospital Westmeath. That's where it's at this year. If you're interested in getting involved, head over to PSAAcademies.com. And I'm delighted to say that Philippe Saint-Andre joins us on the line this morning. Good morning to you, Philippe.
Yeah, good morning.
So let's talk France. They've named an unchanged team, first of all, from the Scotland game. All of a sudden, things look rosy in the garden. There's a bit of consistency, and French rugby is back on the right trajectory.
We hope so, yeah. I think it's the first time in 18 months that the starting 15 not change. So first, because we didn't have injury, and second, because the performance was okay. It was not a fantastic performance, but we managed to beat a Scottish team, and no, I think the good things it's the same team, and also it's a lot of new blood, and with young players like guys like Dupont and Tamac and Ramos, and a new generation of French players, you know.
Yeah, there might have been a lot made of the general malaise. I often wonder that, Philippe. People were talking about the quarter-full stadium at the Stade de France for the Wales game. Like Bernard Laporte was saying after the game, I think that we have a French team which no longer makes us dream, which is pretty harsh words, isn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, yes. But, you know, in sports and high level, you know, if you want people to come to watch you, you need to win, and you need to be successful. And you know, we were, after the Welsh team, we were 10 in the ranking of World Rugby. It never happened in the history of the French team. But it's some hope, you know, because since 80 months ago we changed the rules on the top 14, and the club need to pick 16, 17 GIFs, so its players come from the academy. And so French players, and we won the World Cup under 20 1 year ago. We have team back like Stade Toulousain playing very well, but with 70-80% of French players, and these players now start to be in the French team, and we have already 2 guys won the World Cup under 20 are in the starting 15. You know, Bamba, the tight head, and then Tamac, you know, the fly half. So it's up in the French rugby and the French team, and to be honest, you know, if French team starting to win again and to play a good game of rugby, the supporter and the public will be back, you know.
Yeah, to kind of flip my previous question entirely then, are you almost surprised with how quickly the likes of Tamac and Bamba have come in and actually made an impact at test level?
To be honest, now, because, you know, the problem of French rugby at the moment, it was what's the name? We didn't move forward for 10, 15 years. Team like Toulon was French champion with 2 French players in the starting 15. So we pay back, you know, 10 years of no vision about our French team. But 5 years ago, we changed about the academy. We changed about the development of our players. We work much more about the skills and the fitness of the guys. And you know, I think the work pay back, you know, but it's a long process, and we didn't adapt about professional games, you know. We adapt about money and top 14 and TV rights, but the French team wasn't the priority of French rugby during 10, 15 years, and so we pay back this. I think we will be back on track for not for this World Cup because it's too late, but for the next World Cup in 2023, then we'll be in France in 5 years, you know.
Yeah, like you mentioned, these changes started to happen 5 years ago. You would have been in the job as head coach around that time. You mentioned a couple of the changes there with regards to academies, and the green shoots are starting to come now. Is there anything specific you can tell us in terms of a culture shift in those academies that was for the greater good of the French national rugby team?
Yeah, because you know when I was the selectioner of the French team, I needed to pick players was not third choice in the club. So because the guys didn't have game time, the guys needed to go in second division for young players to play. So we start to put the politics about the academy, about training the young kids, about high level. And I knew he will pay back long time after. But when I was the coach of the French team, still the players was going back to play with their club between game of Six Nations. Twice we won the first two games, and the third week, so it was a week off, all my players was going back to play for their club. So it was completely crazy and stupid. This is changed for the last 2 years. So this is a good point, and now with the GIF, then each club need to pick between 15 and 17 French player in the squad of 23 on the team sheet. It's a big hope for young players because they know that they can have game time. Then the club know, and the top 14 start to put some money and some input in the academy. They give in the infrastructure. They pay also quality coach to develop these players, and it's something start to change in French rugby. But it was a big battle and it was painful because we lost in quarter-final against of the World Cup in New Zealand very heavily. After Guinoves arrived, was sacked, and still the French team start to recover. But I have the feeling we'll go in the straight in the right area. And for me, the academy is the key, and it's for this also, then I open an academy, but more European academy with PSA Academy, like you speak before, and or we try to put some top coaching quality for young players with Johnny Murphy also from Ireland,
Yeah, for sure. That must have been incredibly frustrating for you personally, that between Six Nations weeks, your players would be going back to clubs. I mean, you look at the Irish situation and it's perfectly controlled by the IRFU here, for example. You mustn't have felt you got a fair crack at the whip at all when you were losing your players every second week.
It was terrible because also it was a war between the French Federation and the club. In some club we didn't have access of the players. Before the Six Nations, when you look the team sheet, our key player was playing 8 games in the row, 80 minutes. They were arriving for starting the Six Nations completely exhausted and knackered. And it was, because I was coaching in France, in Toulon, but I coach a lot in England, with Sale Sharks and Gloucester. And I knew what the other country was doing to optimize their players, and us, we were very, very old school. So I take a lot of criticism because I fight with the club, I fight with the league, I fight with the federation. I say this, it's completely wrong because professional rugby, it's completely different. 20 years ago, the game time was 18, 20 minutes, but now when you play, it's 45 minutes of ball on the pitch, so the guys make is 180 work, so it's completely a different sport. So, but this battle was quite good because now people open their eyes, and also the newspaper, the former players, and the league realize that we need to change our policy. But it was painful, but it was my job when I was there. I fight, and now we're starting to make some step forwards.
Yeah, like you mentioned 2023 there a moment ago, Philippe. You talked about the idea of it being a home World Cup, and naturally, given the age profile of the squad, it's totally understandable that France rugby might expect a little bit more in 4 years' time. The question is, does French rugby and the French rugby support have the patience for perhaps whatever may happen at the end of this year to wait for what might happen in 4 years?
it's for this, you know, it will be amazing if if we can get a result this Sunday in Dublin, you know, because it's so long time that the French team didn't beat a big team away, and you know, it's quite some hope because the French team are together now for the last 8 weeks, so I think they put they are more ready for the intensity of international game. Also, the Irish team, you know, don't perform as well as the last few years. You know, I don't know, but we don't feel Ireland play their best rugby at the moment. You know, they lost heavily at home against England. They beat Scotland, but he was quite shaky. It was tough for them also in Italy. So, you know, we just hope that with this new French team, with some young talents, then if we can get, you know, a good result or also losing very close, you know, this can be a big hope for the future. And after Six Nations, it's still the Six Nations, you know, it's still you will see this weekend a lot of French supporters arrive in Dublin. We love to go to Dublin. We love the atmosphere, and the Six Nations is still, you know, a fantastic event for the people who love rugby in France.
Jacques Brunel was saying, we know what to expect for this weekend, but they were well beaten by the English. There are weaknesses, and we will try to pressure those. What are those weaknesses, Philippe?
Yeah. After to be honest, for Sunday we will have a fullback because Ramos is a fullback. I think, you know, in England we play two center winger and a winger fullback. So maybe also the team, the selection was not perfect, was not right. But this week, you know, Ramos is a fullback. Play for Toulouse fullback all the week, and he's fullback Sunday. Eoin Sheahan is back to the wing. Penaud is a guy. He plays center for a long time in Clermont-Ferrand, but since the beginning of the season, he's just playing winger. So I hope that our balance with the back three will be much better. And after we know what we'll expect with the Irish team. You know, they will a lot of pressure kick on. So we need to be very competitive on the high ball. And after we know that when they will put big intensity when they come in the strike zone and they keep the ball long time. But you know, we have some talents. We have power with the forwards. We have backs. As the balance with the backs is much better, and we have a very young scrum half and fly half, but they are very talented. So, you know, we will see. But you know, they need to have a go, and they need to enjoy the moments and just to perform the best they can Sunday in Dublin.
Philippe, did Eddie Jones show on week one how to stop Johnny Sexton and Conor Murray? Is there a template that Jacques Brunel can follow?
Excuse me, could you? I didn't hear well.
Do we now have a template in terms of teams coming up against Ireland for stopping Johnny Sexton and Conor Murray, or do you put it down to just a lack of form, a bit of rustiness as to why they're not performing so well at the moment?
Yeah, maybe. The French player play too much, but maybe now the Irish player don't play enough. But yeah, I think more I feel your scrum half is quite rusty at the moment. You know, I think he was out for a long time. You know, he's a fantastic footballer and he's a great player, but he didn't show since the beginning of the season. You know, I don't feel that he was he's close to the ball like he was before, you know. So the Irish team don't play as quick as before. And you know, in rugby, when the confidence, you start to drop your confidence. It's not easy. So yeah, I am sure he's rusty. He's not in his best form. I just hope that he will not have back this form this Sunday, because I think for the Irish team also it's a big game for them. You know, they need to perform, they need to show to everywhere in the world, and they are one of the favorites of the World Cup, because we must not forget that the Irish team are the only team in the world beat New Zealand twice in the last 2 years. So you know, this is a fact, and the French team, we respect too much the Irish team, you know, to come Sunday and to think it will be easy.
Are France going to win on Sunday, Philippe?
I think he will be close. You know, I think he will be a very close game. Of course, I am French, so I will love it. You know, but why not a draw? You know, we drew a few years ago in Dublin. Why not a draw Sunday?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a cracker. Philippe Saint-Andre, thanks a million for taking the call.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Just a reminder again that the PSA Academies are back this year, and there's 4 venues in Ireland, up from 2 last year. Rosscray, Kilkenny, Villiers in Limerick and Wilson's Hospital, Westmeath.